What is up, YouTube? We're going to go ahead and check out the Archtype plugin today. Thanks for stopping by. Spoiler alert, though, it's pretty fucking sick. But let's check it out. I have a couple songs that I wrote, or a song I wrote. And let's check out some clean tones first. Let me show you what I got here. What was that? Anyways, as you heard, that sounds awesome. I mean, the clean tones on this thing are unreal. Unreal. So let's mess around with that a little more. So here's what I got going on. I got no boost, no compressor. I literally left everything on stock except for this little thing right here. The bright button, I flicked that on. I tend to like my cleans a little glassy. And nothing on the EQ. Now here, oh, I hadn't realized you can do that. I guess we're both learning something. You can switch your amplifier up here as well. Now, what I did know is that you can control the things as well on here. Like if you were in this section, you can control the treble and stuff, or like the other knobs. You can also do it in the cabinet section, which I thought was really fucking cool. And then delay and reverb. Now, I just wanted to emphasize how great this sounds out of the box. That's the purpose of this video. I literally did not fuck with a single thing. I just kind of turned back the feedback, left the tape saturation as is, left the tempo as is. I put it in sync mode to 125 BPM, 125 BPM. The time I left alone, the tone I left alone. I admittedly do like my delays a little darker, so let's just turn it down a bit. But delay, I mean dry and wet, 50%. Same thing on the reverb, 50%. Space all the way up, time halfway. The low pass filter almost up. It still left a lot of the highs in there, and but just taking out some of those shrill shit, and then the low end, I cut out a little bit of the low end as well. I probably should have cut out more, but I have a limiter on here that helps control the low end, this thing. In any case, let's mess around with the plugin and see what we can work with here. Oh, I must preface this that I have it in stereo mode, as I'm having two tracks running, these two right here, into this bus. Since it's in stereo mode, I have a full pan left, full pan right. Now, normally I wouldn't do that if I'm actually mixing. I would put the plugin on each individual channel. It just tends to spread out more, make it even wider than it already is. But for the purpose of this video, I just wanted to put it on stereo mode on the bus, just to show you, you know, if you're limited on CPU power, you can just put it on the bus and run two channels left and right into this, and then boom, there you go. Same thing with the distortion. You want to throw in some distortion into your song, you can just run two channels into a bus, throw that onto the bus, and then boom, there you go. You got your distortion. If you're, again, limited on CPU. Frankly, I have a pretty decent computer that I don't have to do that. Anyways, going back to that, let's start how I would actually go about this. So let me go back into, and I mean, we're gonna go ahead and do some pedal stuff first. So let's go, one by one, each section. So let's try the compressor. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm hearing some like a little bit of distortion. Let's see if that's part of the compressor or if there's something else going on. So yeah, it's coming from the compressor. I'm gonna turn down the gain a bit. I like it. I mean, it's a compressor. You're gonna squish the signal, bring everything closer together. I kind of like how it adds a little bit of low end to it. Yeah, see, to like my ears, it sounds a little more exciting, a little more upfront. Some people may not like that. I actually like my cleans to be pretty aggressive, and I have the compression in the middle, so it's a pretty healthy amount, about 50%. Now, unfortunately, with this pedal, you can't control the ratio or like the attack and release. I'm assuming as you go to one side or the other, those vary in terms of intensity or in structure. I'd assume like the less compression, it'd be like a slow attack, fast release. The more compression, a fast attack, slow release kind of thing. I figured I'd just leave it in the middle, kind of just get like a halfway point. Now let's hear the clean channel with the overdrive. See what that comes up with. Oh man, so yeah, so like as you could tell, you can go full on super ice picky with that tone knob, or like back off. And to me, when you back it off all the way, it's very warm sounding. I think I'm gonna keep it a little bit past noon. I turned down the drive all the way, and I'm using it more as like a clean boost, similar to how I would use it as like a tube screamer, like on a metal channel. I mean, excuse me, on a distortion channel or something. Okay, moving on. I don't have the pedal set up how I wanted it. I'm gonna back off on the mids. Treble's fine. Let's add some presence. Bright knob is fine. The gain, because I'm adding gain through the pedal, I'm backing that off. Let's hear how that sounds. Yeah, I almost feel like that bright switch adds volume, therefore a little more gain. I'm hearing a little more grit with that bright switch on. I like it though. I kind of like my cleans to break up a little. Yeah, man, I'm really digging that. Okay, let's go to the EQ. So normally I would, drop that down, drop that down, drop that down, turn that up. So I've dropped 250, I've dropped 1K, I've dropped 4K, and I've boosted a bit of 8K. No more than 2 decibels each, about 1.5 across the board. Let's hear how that sounds. Man, you know, I didn't realize how subtle that was. Like, I mean, I cranked that 8K and you didn't even hear it. Like, I mean, you did, but I mean, even all the way up, it doesn't sound like disgusting. It has like this very nice glassy quality. I mean, if you guys aren't listening onto like studio monitors or like good headphones like these, you may not hear it, but I mean, it's subtle, but I don't know if you can tell, it kind of cleans up everything, kind of makes it a little more hi-fi. It sounds really good. I like the idea of having that just like there for you. And then now onto the cabinet. So the cabinet, I have a standard setup. I have a ribbon mic, 160. Typically, I prefer Royers, but I like the sound of this one. And then the classic 57, I pretty much use that on all my recordings. You really don't have too much to think about in this section. They make it a lot easier than most other plugins, which I've noticed. Even like the bias stuff, I have to fiddle around quite a bit to get a good tone. Like, for example, a couple days ago, I was trying to make a tone on that thing, and I was just there for like 3 hours just trying to. And while I really do like bias amp, I use it all the time. I feel that a plugin should just be plug in and play. That's like in the namesake, plugin. So I don't know why the fuck they made it so. I could see why people gripe on bias, is what I'm trying to say. But in any case, let's mess around with the microphones. All the way back. All the way forward. All the way back. Ooh, I actually kind of like that. I mean, both ways sound really good. Now let's try the position. Position is the where in the cone you're miking this. So let's move it all the way into the cone for the ribbon. Yeah, so you start getting that really shrill thing, and then if I go all the way to the other side, it should be warmer. Yeah, so it's significantly warmer. I personally like it right as the cone touches the cap. Let's do it with the 57. Cone all the way to the edge. It's okay. Let's try it all the way to the cap here. Okay, yeah, now we're kind of starting to hurt my ears with that glassy kind of thing. See, for me, that sounds just about right. And even now, I can still hear a little too much of that. Let's go ahead and turn that up just slightly. Yeah, much better. All right, so let's move on to some distortion. See what the plugin can do for some riffage. All right, so that's kind of what I came up with. Yeah, now that I'm listening to it, it is a little shrilly, but we'll fix that right now. So I have the overdrive set up how I would any other tube screamer. Drive all the way down, tone at noon, and level. I found that the tone knob is really dependent on the pickups and guitar that you use. It's kind of like a filter that like shaves off like the mids. The guitar that I use on this is pretty neutral, so I just kind of wanted you to hear what the tone knob does. So let's do that. So yeah, it's on the upper mids, low highs. You know, it just increases that like it's like almost like a presence knob on this. Like with the tube screamer, it's like a 1K to 2K kind of thing, like the honk kind of thing. This I'm hearing more of like a shrill, like upper mid thing. Sorry. Yeah, so I think I'm actually gonna back off on that just at 11 o'clock. Let's hear. Yeah, that sounds good. I like that. So this is probably where I would go a little crazier. Oh, look, I already did that. I didn't even realize that. Okay. Let's zero that out. 4K down. Okay. 500 hertz down. Okay. The mid-range. And then 250, the low mids. Kind of where like the boom boom. And then I dropped one about a decibel here and a decibel here. So if I turn this off, and then turned on, it's like night and day for me. Like if without that on, it's kind of soupy, milky. Like the mid range is kind of all over the place. With this, it tightens everything up and takes care of a certain couple problems. I found that 4K is just super fucking annoying, and I always get rid of that shit. And then same thing with the cabinet here. I mean, there's really not else much to say. You know, distance and the position. So like I mic'd it up how I would mic up any cabinet when I'm doing metal. Right on the cone meets the cap. Oh, I forgot to show you guys this. Because I have the distortion, the overdrive slammed, I don't need that much gain. I almost feel like I should turn that off. I'll do that. I'll turn off the bright knob. It's still a little too bright. I turned up the bass because the overdrive does cut out the low end of your DI. I turned back the mids. I kind of did the smiley face thing. Master I left at the own, and then presence I left alone. In fact, I'm probably going to just mess with this just a tad. Back off some of the highs. And let's hear that. Yeah, I actually like it with the bright knob, but I backed off the treble and the presence. All right, so let's go back to the microphone. So let's hear what two SM7 sound in different positions. I'm going to go ahead and put one at the edge of the cap and one right on the cap. Let's see what that sounds like. Okay, it sounds terrible, but you get the idea. Let's put that back. I'm going to leave the 57 on. It's my favorite guitar mic, but let's try other microphones. See what that does. Yeah, definitely the 421 is the way to go. The ribbon 21, I would like that. And it does add a lot of low end though, and that's typically something I go for. Now they do have an option where you can load your custom IRs. Let's just pick some from what I already have. Let's try this 421 off axis with a low pass filter. Oh, that's cool, and I didn't even know that you can do that. It's pretty much designated on per side. Dude, that is so dope. Dude. That is so crazy. Whoa, what the hell was that? That's so nuts. So let's set it up like how I would with two different microphones. 57 off axis, low pass. There we go. Let's try that. So the 57 off axis with a low pass, same thing with this, but it's a 421 off axis with a low pass filter. That sounds sick, dude. I didn't know you can pull that off. That's really dope. Let's hear how it would sound a bit in the mix. Let me just turn that on. Let's do 10K. All right, let's hear how it sounds with everything. Oh, you know what? We didn't make a lead tone. Let's do that real fast. Let's mute all of these except for you two. My crappy solo. Dude, that sounds so sick. Okay, hold on. Let's go in here, crank some of the mids, turn down the treble, turn down, no, the presence is fine, turn off the bright. Let's hear that. I usually like my leads a little bubbly, but in a softer way. Oh man, that sounds super tight. Okay, and let's hear everything else. Dude, that sounds awesome. So, can it pull death metal off? Fuck yeah, it can. Is it something that I would reach for to write riffs on? Yes. Was it my go-to? Probably not. The cleans are unreal on this thing. I would definitely get it just for the cleans alone. However, the distortion isn't really my swag. It's more on the warmer side for me. However, can it do extreme metal? Absolutely. Can it do prog metal? There's no doubt in my mind this thing can do prog metal. You guys out there that play Gent or any of that Plini stuff, Polyphia stuff, that kind of thing, it'll do you right. For the guys that are more on my end of the spectrum, the extreme metal side, yes, it can do it. It's just not my personal ideal tone for death metal, but I give this straight up 5 stars. I mean, Neural DSP has been killing it, and this is just another example of what they can do, and I'm very impressed with this. Thanks, guys, for watching. I really do appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and keep out for more videos. Subscribe. Thanks.